not trying to completely make this dramatic here, but as an outsider, this just seems like a huge, huge win for this group. How your team showed up after this road trip against this type of team. Like, where does this type of win rank in your mind in this season?
I think it's, you actually asked me about it beforehand. It's a signature win for us, against a high level team, obviously, again, with reasons why and excuses, coming back off the first that long road trip and all those things, playing against, two of the most elite players in our league. And then our guys figuring out a way. And, to me, the most impressive thing is you hold a team like that to 19 points in the fourth quarter. That lets you know what you're capable of defensively. And there were, individual plays. There was one-on-one plays, whether it was Lowry, Isaac, and there's weak side help plays, like all the things that we talk about defensively, they were there in that fourth quarter.
Because of what you just said, how proud do you feel?
I mean, every day these guys make me feel that way. They really do. And it's, ups and downs, goods and bads, like their commitment and their approach never changes and it never wavers. And, to watch them grow and watch them, exceed expectations individually and as a team. But it's never about themselves. Right? Everything is always about the group. And, I couldn't be more proud of them.
Okoro defensively this game, obviously he came in and started after Lamar was out, but what can you say about what he gave you guys defensively?
I thought it was huge. I mean, again, your job against the elite is just to make them take difficult shots. Some nights those shots are going to go in because of who they are. But, I thought tonight he did a, fabulous job of making those guys take difficult shots over the top of them. He didn't give them angles and things like that. Like they had to finish over the top of him. And I thought he did a great job staying between them and the basket all night.
And then lastly for me, I got to ask you about Darius Garland just got Eastern Conference Player of the Week honors. I asked him about it post game. I could see him light up about it a bit. How do you feel when your player gets to have that accolade?
I mean, it's a respect that everybody's hunting for, and to be, acknowledged by the league. That's why guys do what they do. That's why they put in all the work. That's why they put in all the time. But the part that I like about what the league does is whatever it is that you do and how you play has to impact winning. If, you have a bunch of stats and it doesn't impact winning, very rarely do you see that guy get the player of the week. So this is about winning, and Darius was playing well and helping us win.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Yes. So about signature wins stuff. The last time I saw you, you were talking about that and you were saying that maybe that was the one thing you didn't have. And then now today you're calling this one it. But if you're playing against teams that, one guy's hurt, one guy's sick, but you keep winning the games, do you need a signature win to know how good your team is?
No, I think what we need is, the level of understanding of what we're capable of. And to me, when you play against, teams that are above you in the standings, right, you need to believe that you're capable of beating them. And the only way that you do that, is by getting over that hump. I think we've had some really good games with Brooklyn this year, but weren't able to finish them out. And, tonight for us to have the opportunity to finish them out, it goes into a player's mind and our team's mind that we can do the job. So, as we get later in the season and things start to tighten up, like we know we can dig down and get somewhere and get a job done.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I'm getting at, because you pass every test. You go out west, you win all the games or most of the games, and you win a game like tonight. But do you see enough throughout the course of the year to where you get to April and you get to May and everybody's at full strength? Like, do you see enough now to say, okay, we can handle that kind of situation?
It's a long season, and I don't want to jump out there. I'm proud of what our guys have accomplished so far, but until you get through the full 82, and then whatever steps are next, like that's when you sit back and evaluate and say, what you can do. Our guys believe in themselves and each other and believe they can beat anybody. But for us, it's all about the total season in the 82 games. And then, these tests keep coming because we haven't done it before as a group. So we can't just expect, well, the first half of the season we played well, and now we're happy and satisfied. Like our group has to stay hungry and keep passing those tests every night.
What kind of, I mean, you said, defensively 19 points tonight in the fourth quarter, which obviously against that group is really good. But also when you guys had the ball, just a lot of maturity. It seems like you guys are showing down the stretch. Where do you think that is coming from?
Trust in each other, and it starts with each individual knowing who they are and how they can be impactful in those moments, right? Like what we don't have is guys trying to play outside themselves when the game is on the line. We don't have, someone who's just breaking plays, trying to make something happen because they feel like they have to make something happen. Our guys are really conscious of their roles. They know at the end of the game, the ball's going to start with Darius, and then Darius is going to make the next play. And then there's the progression of responsibility when the ball is moved.
And then my last one, you were talking about making these great players take tough shots. In Kyrie's case, you put marking on him a bunch, and then it seems like just to try to make him shoot over length. Is that
yeah, I mean, that's it would have been, we were waiting for their starters to figure out what our matchups and lineups were going to be, and then they went with Patty Mills, which changes the dynamic of where we're going to go. We're going to play our big guys, so now we just have to figure out what the best matchups for them are. And again, what our big guys give us the ability to do is switch a lot of things and keep people in front of them, and then force them into those tough shots. James and Kyrie are going to make some of them, those tough step backs. You're asking your big guys to be in uncomfortable places, guarding a step back three, and then you get the foul, those things that we can continue to work on. But again, we're going to be who we are and trust in our guys that they can get the job done.
Yeah. Jeff Kidal, News Herald. It seems to me, I'm going to ask you about Darius too. It seems to me like as a passer that he sees the play unfolding before it happens. Is that fair to say?
That's what, those types of guys with that type of vision, they see where the defense is before it gets there, right? So he knows whatever action he's in, he's got the defense, and that's what he's looking at, right? Like some of the guys play, they have to stare their target down. But Darius sees the defense, and now he knows what play is going to be made based on where the defense is.
Ashley.
Hey, JB, I wanted to ask you about that play in the fourth quarter where Evan slips and Darius reads and gets that big bucket to put you guys up 5 with about a minute left. Just Evan and his ability to read a defense like that as a rookie, just how rare is that for him to be able to make a play like that at a big moment in a game?
Well, I think, he's continued to show us his IQ, and from a big guy's perspective, it's a lot of times a longer process to get to where he is now. But, we talk about it. He was coached really well growing up, and he was coached to play the entire game. He wasn't coached to just be a back to the basket big man. He was coached to think the game from all 5 spots on the floor.
And then Kevin was just out here getting some extra shots up for a while after the game ended. I guess when you have a veteran like him and veterans like who are willing to do that and put in the extra work, I guess how important is that when you have so many young guys on this team and how that kind of sets the tone and the mentality?
I mean, it's leadership. It's that sacrifice that we talked about Kevin making at the beginning of the year. And him wanting to help the team. And that's the only thing that matters. So, when you got guys like that have done so much, that are willing to take that, step back, so to speak, to let the other guys go forward, the guys appreciate that and they respect them for that.
Hey, JB, John Rutter, 92.3 The Fan. I'll kind of just ask this directly. Have you ever seen a team grow up as fast as this group has really come together this year?
I mean, not one that I've been around, but it was different from training camp, and you could feel the difference. You've got individual guys that, that third year is the big year for guys when you go back and take a look at it. Last year you had guys, asked to do different things on different nights because of, all the things that were going on. This year, I think we've been pretty consistent with roles and responsibilities. But, to me, it's the chemistry that this group has. And that's something that you don't see coming together as quickly as it did.
That chemistry that you mentioned, there's been opportunities where or there was a chance there for maybe to have a letdown against Oklahoma City, end of a road trip, you're down 16, but you're still pull through. Is that what gets you through in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, there is a genuine feeling where they don't want to disappoint each other. They go out and they compete, and we're, by no means are we perfect on either side of the ball, but we make our mistakes, but they don't want to disappoint each other and let each other down. So when there's opportunities for us to do, what we can, they'll go out and do it for one another.
Thank you.
Evan Damerel, Facebook News. JB, when Darius checked out towards the end of the third quarter, was everything okay?
He banged his knee on somebody, so he looked like he was hobbling. I just wanted to make sure that he was all right.
All right, perfect. And with Rajon out due to his hamstring issues, Brandon has really stepped up to the task for you guys. What has impressed you most from just kind of seeing him out on the floor? I think John Michael noted during the broadcast that Brandon has had only 0 turnovers leading into this game over the last 3 or so, and he only had 1 tonight. So what has impressed you most with Brandon stepping up?
Just his toughness. He's fearless when he's out there playing. He can pick up and guard multiple positions. And then offensively, he makes his shot. He can get to the paint and make plays. I just think he's fit in right with what the core of our group is. From his level of competition and understanding how to fit with this group.
Thank you.
We'll finish up with Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
Fourth quarter, putting Isaac on Kyrie. What went into that decision, and what were you looking for from Isaac in that matchup?
Just again, the guys that they put on the floor, dictated where we have to put our matchups, right? So. Lowry ended up on James quite a bit, in position where we could switch a lot of his pick and rolls. And then, that left Isaac and Darius. Isaac's ability to keep people in front of him. Kyrie's one of the best at creating his own and getting people off balance. Isaac, I believe, is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And what Isaac does a great job of is he doesn't give you angles to beat him. Like the shots that you make over Isaac are shots where he's between you and the basket, and you just got to make a great play. We know Kyrie's capable of making great plays. But I thought tonight Isaac did a great job of just making it difficult.
What kind of luxury does that give you as a coach to have that kind of guy that you can put on that caliber player and feel good about what he can give you?
I mean, this league at the end of the day is going to come down to one-on-one situations. The further you go in the season, the more switching you see. The postseason, and now it's, all the plays of the team's plays, right? So now it comes down to, can you beat your guy? And what I think Isaac gives you an opportunity is, it makes it extremely difficult to just beat him. So now your big guys don't have to come help. Now the rotations and all those things aren't there. So having individual defenders that can keep guys in front of you in this league is priceless.
Thank you.